In this video, I'll show you how to change the oil and oil filter on this 2-litre TDI Caddy MK4. This is the DFSD engine. I'll cover oil specification, how to read the dipstick, and a few good tips along the way. So as you've seen, I've got it up on a few blocks of wood just to give me a little bit more space to get in underneath it. Okay, so I've got a 19mm spanner here for the oil bung. I'm just going to undo that now. It's got something to catch the oil in. The engine's been warmed up a bit as well. So we'll see what this is like when it comes out. Okay, so we let that drain, and I'm going to undo the oil filter now while that's draining. It's got a long-ish extension on the ratchet here just to make it a little bit easier. Okay, I'm just going to put another little canister underneath here to catch the mess that might come down. So we just need to give the filter housing a good clean. Get all the old oil out of it as much as you can anyways. And then there's a rubber seal on it here, just around here. So we just got to get that off with a little pick or something, whatever you got, even a little small flat screwdriver. Okay, that's it. So if you're not sure when you're putting that back, there's a little slot there for that rubber to sit into. You can see it's a bigger groove than the rest of it. So then we get your new filter. Should come with this rubber seal, and then there's another little rubber seal as well. I'll show you where to put that. So you want to get this little nut in the middle out here. And there's a little rubber seal on that as well. So it's just a 13mm socket to get that one off. It can be quite hard, but you can usually do it by hand. There's a smaller little rubber seal then right there on that, so you just get that off with the pick again. This one can be a little bit awkward. You want to make sure you've got a new one before you start messing with this one, because you can't damage it when you're getting it off. So just get this little package open. So what I normally do is just get a little bit of oil, just enough to get on your finger, and then just rub it around this rubber seal. And then just pop it on here. You don't want it to go flying and lose it. That's it. It's got plenty of oil on it now. It's nice and lubed up. Then just make sure it's clean in here. And then you can put that in and snug it up. Just start it off by hand, make sure it's threading okay. There is torque specs written on the bottom of this. 5 Nm for the small one and 25 Nm for the big one. So 25 Nm when you're putting that back on. So then your filter just fits in here like this. There's a little slot for it to go into down the bottom. Don't know if you guys are going to be able to see that. And that's it. You can hear it just click into place, and it's held in there now. So yeah, let's not forget to put this big O-ring on. Again, just oil on the finger and lube it up. Plenty of oil on it. And then it's just a case of working that down into that little slot. So then it's just the reverse of taking everything out. You just want to get this wire out of your way, work the filter up here. It's a bit awkward. There is some bits and pieces in your way. That should be it. And then when you're putting this on, you just want to make sure you don't cross thread it. So get it on as far as you can by hand. Make sure it goes on a good bit by hand so you're sure it's not being cross threaded. And then I don't actually have a torque wrench that goes down to 25 Newton meters, so I just put this on by hand and snug it up nicely, but make sure I'm not over tightening it. So that's it, that should be enough. It's got a rubber seal on it, so it doesn't need to be mad tight. And then it's just a case of getting the drain plug in. Just make sure it's clean around there. Wipe off any excess oil that's there. I've got a new bung and washer. It's over here. Okay, so again, make sure this goes in nice and easy by hand. Goes in pretty much all the way by hand, and you just tighten up with your spanner. Okay, so that's it. So we just fill her up with oil now, run it for a bit, and then double check the oil level and make sure there's no leaks. So just to show you guys, if you haven't seen a dipstick like this before, this is just a dipstick out of the van. I've just got it here kind of propped up between a light and a bit of wood. Just so you know how much oil you're supposed to fill in it. This particular dipstick has got like a crosshatch pattern here. So this is low and this is full. So you want the oil around about this, close to this full mark. You don't want it above this notch here or coming up here. So ideally here or just very slightly underneath that. That seems to be about the perfect spot for the oil. Okay, so we'll take this back over to the van and we'll start filling it up with oil. Open your oil filler cap. I usually use a little bit of a bottle oil. You could use a small ton dish if you have one as well. I just pour the oil in. You need to make sure you're using the correct specification oil. My owner's manual calls for oil that meets specification VW507 and viscosity 5W30. You need to check your manual and make sure you're using the correct spec oil. Check the oil you're buying meets the required specs. It should be written on the label on the back of the can. And you don't want to put too much in, like I say, so stop every now and then and just check that you're not overfilling it. I think this van takes 4.6 litres. Okay. Some of you might be thinking, well, if I've got the front wheels up on blocks of wood, then the van isn't level, so I'm not getting a true reading here. The thing is, this garage has got quite a steep fall into it, so with the front wheels up on blocks there, the van is more or less level. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So make sure to put the oil filler cap back on. So yeah, I'll just check underneath, make sure there's no leaks, and start it and run it for a couple of minutes. So just checking the oil drain plug, and that looks perfectly dry. Up here in the filter too, no drips or anything, so safe to start it.
So that's it. I'll just let it run for a couple of minutes and then let it cool down again for a couple of minutes and check the oil level. If the oil level has dropped a bit, I'll top it up a little bit more, keeping it just under the full mark.